In today's episode, a star sits, then dances, and the internet explodes. A rookie phenom pokes the refs, then laughs at a fine that wouldn't buy a warm-up. A battered roster claws through a Game 3, then rips history open with one steal. 3 stories, 1 league on the edge. You want drama, you want receipts, you want the moment that flips a season. You'll get all 3. Buckle in. This ride's bumpy, and the ending stings. Court battle is one thing. Comment sections are another. She waded into both, and somehow made the league blush. Game 2 ends. Upset achieved. Emotions boil. She hits Instagram. 8 words. Refs couldn't stop us. Then a shout to the bench mob. Not a manifesto. Not a rant. Just a jab. A wink. A scoreboard smile. The league sees it. The league reaches for the ticket book. $200. That's the fine. That's the price of spicy on social. $200. Read that again. That's a meal for 8. That's 1 road per diem. That's not a hammer. That's a memo written on a sticky note. And yet the message still lands. Speak on officials. Pay the toll. She laughs it off. She posts again. Her teammate jokes about a fundraiser. The internet piles in. It becomes a punchline. It also becomes a mirror. Because here's the part that stings. The officiating conversation is bigger than one caption. Players have complained all season. Physical play crosses lines. Whistles vanish. Or appear from thin air. What should be a basketball argument turns into a safety argument. Fans see rookies slammed. Veterans hip-checked. Elbows flying while cameras roll. The league asks for passion. It gets chaos. Then it finds a caption. That sequence writes its own satire. But let's not miss the core. She's active from the bench. She's loud in huddles. She claps the water bottles to life. She points teammates into space. That matters. It keeps the culture tight. It keeps the standard visible. You can't score in street clothes. You can still lead. And she is leading without the ball. That's influence the right way. Her co-star rides shotgun in the bit. She retweets the fine with a grin. She knows the joke. Fans know it too. $200 isn't punishment. It's punctuation. It says, "We saw it. Don't do it again." But everyone knows the real fix isn't a tiny ticket. It's cleaner whistles. It's consistent standards. It's protection that matches the investment. You want mainstream money. Officiate like it. Market like it. Enforce like it. Important detail. The rookie aura didn't evaporate in this storm. Her teammates kept receipts. They know what she did in college. They know what she did in the opening months. They remember 8 wins on her watch before injuries stacked like bricks. Remove those wins and their road changes. No playoffs, no upset, no noise. That's leverage you can't coach. That's gravity. Let's rewind to an earlier beat. A veteran podcast moment. She gets teased about the college tour. 40 on their dome. That's the quote. A playful rib. A quiet truth. She has been doing this for years. The hardware will come later. The audience already arrived. When she posts 4 words after a win, people listen. They argue. They repost. That's reach. The league should stop pretending it's a problem. It's an engine. Treat it like one. What about the fine as precedent? Here's the real impact. It signals lines exist. Say the refs are biased. Swipe the card. That's normal. That's every league. What's not normal is the scale. $200 doesn't scare a rookie with national sponsors. It barely flinches. But the optics matter. She got nicked for a caption. Meanwhile, worse contact draws shrugs. That's backward. That invites roasting. That invites late-night monologues in sports bars. So what's next? She'll keep cheering. She'll keep healing. She'll keep pushing from the bench. The coach will keep pounding the same drum. It doesn't matter, she says. Scoreboard over story. Possession over pity. They built a culture that doesn't crack when the league calls. It laughs. It locks back in. That's how you win a road game with 6 key players out. That's how you turn fines into fuel. Mid-video CTA time. If you're rocking with the honesty, tap subscribe. It helps. It tells the algorithm we're not asleep. It keeps this show independent. You get more heat. You get more context. You win. Last note on the fine. It revealed something pure. She's still a fan of the game. She loves the chaos. She lives for the chip. She will talk her talk. Then she'll pay the toll. That energy is contagious. Locker rooms want it. Cities want it. Networks beg for it. Lean into that. Just not into the whistle discourse. The league clearly has rabbit ears. Boil it down. She poked the refs. The league poked back. Nobody bled. Everybody laughed. And the real story kept rolling. The real story is the scoreboard. What happens when a star says the quiet part out loud, then hits upload? Start here. A candid interview. Strong words. No filter. She said the team needs good players. She said they need great players. Bold. Yes. Smart. Depends on the locker room. Front offices hear that and reach for aspirin. Teammates hear it and check the bus tires. Did you just drive over us? Then came the next beat. A suspension for the first half. Detrimental comments, they said. Message sent. Sit down. Think about it. Fine. Halftime arrives. New message. The back isn't right. She's ruled out for the second half. That's not a whisper. That's a headline. And it lands like a brick through glass. The timeline erupts. Fans ask the obvious question. Which story do we believe? Did the injury flare? Or did the fallout boil? Let's keep it simple. In professional sports, timing is everything. And this timing looked awful. A star says she's too hurt to play. The fans nod. The coach explains. Everyone moves on. Then hours later, a video drops. Private jet. Music on. Moves crisp. Back bending. Hips twisting. Core firing. Is this rehab or rehearsal? That one clip did more damage than a month of bad press. It didn't whisper controversy. It shouted. You can argue context. You can argue tone. But you can't argue optics. They were brutal. They were avoidable. And here's where the plot thickens. The front office stands in the storm. Jeff Pagliocca faces the music. He says she's on the team. He says the chapter is closed. He says the conversations are productive. That's standard crisis language. Calm words. Careful steps. Public optimism. But the crowd behind the bench chants something louder. Fire Jeff. Fire Jeff. That's not nuance. That's a verdict in surround sound. What about the coach? Tyler Marsh gives the medical timeline. She reported back pain before the game. The staff played it cautious. That's reasonable. That's professional. But reason doesn't trend. The jet dance did. And the narrative wrote itself. Suspended first half. Back pain second half. Dance that night. That sequence was gasoline. The comment sections lit the match. You can try to split hairs. You can say a back can hurt for one motion and not another. You can say dancing isn't playing through contact. True. But fans aren't doctors. Fans are human. They see effort. They judge commitment. They judge priorities. They saw a player missing minutes. Then they saw motion that looked free. The scoreboard in their minds changed. Not in her favor. Let's talk locker rooms. Trust is currency. Nothing spends faster. Nothing is harder to earn back. Teammates grind. They tape ankles. They ice backs. They play hurt. That's the code. So imagine this. Your front line is gassed. Your rotations are taped together. Your hunting stops with tired legs. Then later, you see content from 30,000 feet. You don't say it out loud, but you feel it. Are we in this together, Or are we a backdrop for the brand? That's the fork in the road. Reality star or franchise pillar. Attention is addictive. Accountability is heavy. Pick one. Carry it. The greats pick both. They quest for rings. Then they handle heat. They miss a shot. They face the cameras. They get booed. They lace up again. That's the job. The other fork is uglier. You talk about rosters. You float exits. You hint at trades. Then you no-show second halves. It starts to look like a strategy. Make it messy. Force a move. It's a playbook. Agents know it. GMs know it. Fans know it now. But every playbook has risk. Other teams are watching. They ask the hard question. Is the talent worth the turbulence? Some will say yes. Some will say pass. That's a market you can't clap back at. Perspective matters. She is a force on the glass. Rebounding travels. Effort scales. Her activity changes games. That part is real. That part wins fans. But talent without discipline becomes noise. The league is small. Reputations are smaller. Clips live forever. And so do first impressions. You think execs forgot the interview lines. You think coaches missed that jet video. They didn't. They saved it. They studied it. It weighs more than a box score. There's another shadow over all this. The fans. Not just any fans. New fans. Real sports fans. People who heckle. People who chant. People who know the rulebook and the scoreboard. They are showing up. They are louder than the old cocktail crowd. Players will feel that. Some will thrive. Some will snap. A courtside exchange turns into an ejection. The internet writes a morality play within minutes. Then eyewitnesses chime in. Then security invites the couple back. That isn't a great ad for professionalism. It's a warning label. Let's be clear. Accountability isn't hate. Criticism isn't cruelty. It's the cost of the platform you asked for. You wanted mainstream. This is mainstream. It bites. It also pays. The league can't grow on vibes. It grows on trust. Trust that stars will show up. Trust that fans can cheer and boo within reason. Trust that the product is professional. Moments like this erode that trust. One clip, one chant, one suspension. The cracks show. Now the fork again. Pivot or double down. She can reset. She can control what's next. Show up early, leave late. Kill the noise. Kill the casual content. Let the work talk. Let the film talk. Post the ice bath, not the jet. You don't need the comments. You need the respect. That's the path back. It's not cute. It's not viral. It's heavy. But it wins. Quick pause. If you're new here, hit follow. Drop a like if you want more truth, minus the fluff. It keeps the lights on. It keeps the takes hot. Back to the storm. This saga is bigger than one player. It's a referendum on standards. The league is finally getting a spotlight. Keep it. Earn it. Demand it. That means fewer optics disasters. That means tighter comms. That means consequences that feel consistent. If you sit for injury, stay sat for video. If you speak on roster construction, own the room after. If you want out, say it privately. Let the adults work the phones. Because right now, the adults are chasing narrative fires with Dixie cups. Last piece, the comparison you can't dodge. One rookie, sidelined, still on the bench. She yells, she claps. She eats a fine later for a post. Then she laughs. Another star, out for back pain, dancing in a cabin with good lighting. One clip says, "My team first." The other screams, "My timeline first." Which one do kids copy? Which one do sponsors save? Which one builds the league? Easy answer. Hard truth. Wrap it. Talent is a gift. Discipline is a choice. Optics are the bill. Pay it up front. Or pay it with your reputation later. Your move. Do or die. That was the vibe. Short rotation. Shorter breath. Long memories. Indiana walked into Game 3 with receipts. Game 1 felt rigged by ghosts. Game 2 flipped the script. Game 3 would test the soul. The crowd in Atlanta was loud, the building small, the noise big. That place turns into a pressure cooker by the second quarter. You either rise or you melt. They rose. Kelsey Mitchell set the tone. Quick first step. Quicker conscience. She hunted pull-ups until the arc respected her. Then she knifed the lane. She stacked 19 by the break. That's oxygen on the road. Defenders leaned. Help sagged. Passing lanes crackled. Every burst felt like a flare in a dark room. Aaliyah Boston played chess in a fist fight. She fought for early seals. She absorbed hits. She kept her face calm. She tracked angles like a quarterback. Those 6 dimes tell the story. She scored when she had to. She created when they overplayed. She swallowed boards in traffic. Not empty numbers. Emergency possessions. The kind that win ugly. Odyssey Sims was the spark. 16-8 from a mid-season edition is not normal. She drove like a running back. She jump-stopped at the last inch of space. She flipped lobs. She baited reach-ins. Her poise bled into the wings. The bench stood taller. Timeouts felt shorter. That's veteran air in a storm. Natasha Howard did the dirty work that rarely trends. She tipped passes. She punched gaps. She tipped rebounds out of bigger hands. 12 points. But the imprint was bigger. Second chances appeared. The dream sighed. The fever grinned. Those are the moments that flip a 2-point possession into a 5-point swing. Coaches call it winning math. Fans call it momentum. Role players stepped out of shadow. Shea Petty hit a time bomb 3. Brianna Turner shut down a lane without touching the ball. Aerial Powers brought chaos energy in 12 minutes that felt like 30. Little bursts. Big value. That's how thin rosters survive. You win the tiny wars. You steal a minute here. You steal a stop there. You bend the game back toward even. Then your stars close. But this wouldn't be a classic without controversy. Early whistles punished breath. Late whistles hid. After Game 1, everyone expected that mess. Indiana expected worse. They played through contact. They played through silence. They stopped asking for calls. They started making plays. That mental pivot is the difference between bitterness and banners. The last 2 minutes are where legends inhale. Down 2. The building vibrating. Mitchell curls, hesitates, lifts, scores. The bench explodes. The huddle tightens. Aaliyah Boston tells them the next touch is hers. You could read it on her face. The ball finds her. She seals. She finishes with 7 seconds left. The building goes silent, then louder than before. But it's a different kind of loud. Panic loud. Atlanta lines up in inbounds. 7 seconds. Season on the line. Everyone expects a safe pass. Everyone but Lexi Hull. She reads the eyes. She jumps the lane like a cornerback. Clean theft. That is not luck. That is film meets nerve. Free throws follow. A heave misses. Horn sounds. Series over. Drought over. A decade of waiting ends with a layup and a steal. Storybook. And earned. Zoom out. 10 years without a series win. That kind of drought breaks fan bases. It breaks brands. It breaks former stars watching at home. The last time they advanced, different coach. Different league feel. Different everything. Now they're back. Without their headliner on the floor. Without half their rotation. With pride and duct tape. That's culture. That's coaching. That is not an accident. Stephanie White walks into the locker room and breaks a little. That's human. She thanks them for their guts. She tells them the truth. It doesn't matter, she says. It doesn't matter the score. It doesn't matter the whistle. It doesn't matter the building. It matters how you respond. They just wrote a masterclass in that. The celebration hit social, the rookie posts in all caps. Fever show. She couldn't play. She still lived every possession. That matters. The fan base felt seen. The team felt whole. Injured players weren't cheerleaders. They were co-authors. Advice in huddles. Eyes on tendencies. Energy on every run. That's how you turn a roster hole into a culture edge. Now the bill comes due. Las Vegas waits. The champs. The standard. The team that punishes mistakes. The coach says the real version of them is coming. Great. Indiana answers with something scarier. Belief. They just beat a higher seed on the road. They did it with resolve. They did it with a 7-0 closing run. They did it by refusing to blink. The path forward is clear. Value every possession. Make the aces guard actions, not heroes. Keep the ball moving until someone breathes. Hit the defensive glass like rent is due tonight. Live with contested twos. Die on no threes. That's the blueprint. It won't be pretty. It shouldn't be. You don't outglam a dynasty. You outgrind it. One more beat on Lexi Hull. Bad shooting nights bury players. They hide. They hope the horn ends it. She didn't hide. She found a different flame. She turned defense into destiny. That steel writes a career line. Kids will copy that footwork in garages. Coaches will clip it for clinics. That's legacy from a single read. That's basketball in 4 frames. Final thought. This run says something about the wider league. Stars grab attention. Culture wins series. Drama sells clips. Discipline sells tickets. Week after week. You want growth. Serve both. Celebrate flair. Enforce standards. Let players be human. Demand they be pros. Indiana just gave the recipe. Hopefully, everyone was taking notes. Last CTA. If you want more deep dives, drop a comment. Tell us who to cover next. Hit the bell. We read them all. We still answer the sharp ones.